Feeling hard done by isn't about being dramatic. It's usually your system telling you something is out of balance. It might be a sense of unfairness, disappointment, resentment, even sadness or anger. And like many feelings, it's really just a messenger. Listening to it can be a game changer. In this video, we'll look at what kind of imbalance it is, whether it's an old sore spot being pressed, or whether someone genuinely isn't doing their part. And once we know the difference, it becomes far easier to protect our energy and make better choices. I've had this feeling pop up in various situations, at work, in friendships, even in small moments where I've made an effort and got no acknowledgement at all. It's human, but it's also useful. When you feel hard done by, what's the first thing you notice? The unfairness or the energy drain? It's strange how other people's actions, or lack of them, can suddenly make life feel unfair, like we're somehow not receiving our dues. It's uncomfortable, but feeling hard done by is also a signal that something is off. I've noticed over time that there seems to be two types of hard done by. The one that has less to do with now and more to do with an old wound playing up. And the other is very much in the present. Often someone seeking to take advantage of a situation, or perhaps not doing their fair share. When it's an old echo, the reaction doesn't match what's actually happening. It feels bigger than the situation really is. If we don't catch ourselves in the moment, we might look back and think, well, that was more about me than the moment. Like a message being sent late, or a small act of thoughtlessness landing too heavily. If the situation is in the present though, feeling hard done by is very much our signal to say something, to call it out. Most of us have experienced situations where someone isn't contributing, appreciating, acknowledging. Like when someone's actions don't match their words, or when the workload is distinctly unequal. Whatever the case, it's calling for action. Swallowing it can build into a resentment that poisons you, but has absolutely no effect on them. Does this situation feel familiar because it's painful or because it's unfair? Have you noticed how when something is really out of balance, nobody else notices because it's benefiting them? I know in my world, it's when the feeling of hard done by has sounded the loudest that I've been called to act. This played out most at work. Some instances were seemingly innocuous, sideways moves getting denied, consistently being allocated the longest travel hours. But when I questioned it and spoke up, I effectively received a warning because I dared to say, this isn't right. In another role, I was left singly accountable for a management-led action. Just left with the blame. Harsh? Yes. But a signal? Most definitely. In both those instances, I was in the wrong place, and feeling hard done by was effectively pushing me to move on. My experience at work left me feeling far better informed. Yet later on, I got completely blindsided when I was travelling because the situation was more personal. Somebody hugely put on my good nature and got me to take on responsibilities that had nothing to do with me. And I simmered for a couple of weeks before I finally dug myself out. I didn't see it until I was living it. It was completely unexpected as I was open and relaxed. Feeling hard done by shows up anywhere that someone sees you more as a resource than as a person. Has unfairness ever taken you by surprise because you didn't expect it in that setting? My understanding of what feeling hard done by really meant happened gradually. I was brought up to see it as feeling sorry for myself and to shake it off. But time and many interactions have shown me that through feeling hard done by, I can identify a lot of missteps from others. Generally, a lot of talk without action. How usually people who talk up their contribution do the least. And how wrongdoers are usually very quick to blame. And that means that it usually lands on somebody who's not responsible. Unfair? Yes. Useful information? Undoubtedly. It's an invitation to speak up, to talk to the person. In some instances, to appeal to others. And almost always, to draw boundaries on time and effort. And if after all, nothing changes, then it's seriously worth considering being somewhere else. Certainly in my case, the outcome has felt calm and final. The moment when I left the jobs that I mentioned wasn't dramatic. It was simply, no thank you, goodbye. No doubt, no regret, just clarity. The final recourse when there's nothing left to try. More everyday examples are things like feeling invisible, being criticised for a single error, whilst ignoring all the other things well done. Extending ourselves for friends who offer no reciprocity. We end up feeling used. At what point do you realise you've reached your limit? When you're drained, when you're annoyed, or when you get that calm, no more feeling? So how can feeling hard done by actually help us? It highlights something important about us or about the situation. Two questions that matter. Is this an old sore spot? If yes, then we need self-care. Often a bit of space and some kindness towards ourselves will soften it. Just knowing that history isn't repeating and that we aren't defenceless anymore is very soothing. The other question is someone not doing their part? If the answer's yes, we need to look to our energy protection. We can start by saying a kind no, by just doing our part, by being discerning of what we let in. It can help to think of it like this. I determine my worth, and how others treat me determines theirs. What is this moment telling me about me and about them? Feeling hard done by is uncomfortable, but there are little things that we can do when we're in it. One of the best steps is to get curious. Why did that bother me? Because understanding whether it's an echo or an imbalance will help determine the next step. There will be plenty of times when a thoughtful no or a gentle boundary will manage it. But if not, limiting your exposure can minimise energy loss. The important thing is to direct your energy where you want it to go, not into resentment. This isn't hurting them, it's hurting me. I've got better things to do with my energy. What small action could protect your peace now? One boundary, one no, one shift in attention. I hope this video helped you revisit what hard done by means to you and seeing it as a signal that shows you exactly where there needs to be a change. Most importantly, you don't have to swallow it. You don't have to shrink yourself. You get to choose what to do next. If you found this grounding, You might also like the videos in the Care as a Power Move playlist. Take very good care of yourself.